Hey everyone, welcome to a new masterclass. My name is David Marques, and I am here again to share some knowledge. Today I will talk about local AI module, was the subject that I chose to July masterclass. Don't forget to share the video, to subscribe our channel, and like the video. It's important for us to continue this work and sharing content with you. First of all, in terms of subjects, I'm not an expert, okay, in terms of AI, in terms of AI module. I'm a manager, team manager, so it's important for me to be aware what's happening, bring new ideas, new technologies, new ways of doing to my team, to provide better service to our clients. So today, let's talk about local AI module and where it stands and what it's for. First of all, what is an LLM? An LLM means large language module. Is artificial intelligence. Sorry, it's a beginning. With a lot of context, a lot of text that try to understand what we're writing or saying, and returns also text and language. The basics is a bunch of words that typical are recognized as tokens, and the module will try understand and predict the next word. So what you are seeing when you are speaking with a module means that the module will try to answer based on your context, and also based in the context that have previously, and try to predict the next word and the next word and the next word. It's simple as that, okay? What is a local LLM? So a local large language module. It's the same context, works the same way, but in this case, runs in your machine, in your computer, in your hardware, where you have a full control, okay? You are not calling an API from internet, you are calling an API from your computer or from your machine, from your hardware, okay? It's simple as that. LLM, large language module that can run in the cloud as a service provider and also in our computer or in our machine. Something that is important, and is a mistake from the community. When you are talking about local LLM, we are talking about something that runs in our computer that you have access. But exist two types of local LLMs: open weight and open source. Typical in conversation, in discussion, we are using open source, but the open source is only a reduced number of local LLMs. Typically, they are open weight. And what open weight and open source means? Open weight, you can use it, but you cannot train and change the module. Open source, you have full access, you know how to train the module and you can train it, you can change it. So it's like open weight tells you what the model is, open source tells you how it got there. So, and you will see, I will share, it's common to have open weight and not open source. Typically, we see and read the term open source as a local LLM, but they take in consideration that open source, it's difficult to have. Companies typically don't share the source of the LLM. Cloud versus local. As I said before, so cloud means that you call an API from a cloud service, from a company, and local, you call an API from your computer, from an application in your computer. Let's compare cloud and local. In terms of setup, cloud, it's easy. You pay, you use, okay? You don't have setup. Local, you need to set up, you need to have an infrastructure, you need to install it. So it's your responsibility to make this happen. In terms of quality, today we can say that cloud is better, okay, in terms of quality today. And I will share something about it, but typically the local LLMs are have 4 months delayed, okay, comparing with cloud service. Privacy. This is one of the main reasons why we want to use local in terms of company, in terms of compliance. So in the local LLM, you have privacy, full privacy, because works offline, okay, works in your environment. You don't share content. In terms of costs, it depends. So in terms of costs, when you are starting to use a local LLM, you need to have the machine, you need to maintain, you need to have the hardware. We will explore better in detail in the next slides. Cloud, you can pay as you go. You can use it now, okay? It depends. In terms of offline, as I said, so to use cloud, you need internet. To use local, you don't need internet. In terms of control, as I said before, so in cloud service, you cannot change the module, so you don't have access to open source modules. In local, you can have access to open source modules and train the module on top of it or with your data. Take in consideration, one more time, that the common local modules are not open source, okay? In terms of maintenance, cloud, you don't have maintenance. This means that if you have a new version of the module, new modules, you can use it now or when are available. In local, no, you need to upgrade, you need to maintain your machine, your software, okay? In terms of customization, as I said, you can customize it. Why use a local LLM? This is important, very important. Privacy and independency. This is one of the main reasons our clients are asking to how to use it, how be compliant, etc. Privacy and independency, it's very important for enterprise. So your data, it's never leaves your environment, your machine, depends how your workflow are configured, but never leaves your company. You can work offline. You can control the costs and savings, but it depends, okay? Because you have hardware, you have maintenance, you have energy costs, and can be unlimited usage. Not exactly, but can be not so expensive. Enterprise compliance. So we are in the Europe, so we have a lot of compliance to match. Using local LLMs, it's one of ways to do it, okay? Compliance with regularity, sensitive data for healthcare, for startups. So it's very important. And avoid vendor lock-in. With open source, you can change your module. Fine tuning. This is other reasons why to use it, your own module, your local module, okay? You can do fine tuning on your way. Technical concepts. So I'm not an expert, but I think it's important to have some highlights in terms of technical concepts if you want to use it, if you want to try local modules. Parameters, model size. So you will, if not yet, but you will listen about parameters. Parameters, it's like the weight of the module. Almost every module, every versions of the modules have in own name designation the number of parameters. Parameters is like the capability of the module. So use more memory, this is one of the constraints, but have more capability to process the information, okay? Thinking about it, typically more parameters is better module, but it's not cannot be better module for you, okay? Take in consideration that. So the parameters are increasing, the versions are increasing the parameters, but take in consideration that cannot be the better module, more parameters in the module, okay? Take in consideration that. Quantization. This is a way to make possible to use it in your machine, in your local machine. It's like a compressed version of the module. It's like a MP3 JPEG. So you can use it a module with a shrink way to don't need a lot of memory, and this way it can work. Okay, it's a way today that we are using to be possible to test and run modules. MOE. This is also important. You will see in the modules designation if they are if they have this type of MOE. MOE, it's mixture of experts. Think about, I have this idea, think about an healthcare service. When you go to a hospital, when you go to a clinic, typically they redirect you to experts, to a specialization. So it's the same way. When you are talking, you are sending information to the module have a system that's try to redirect the information for a specific expertise to don't use all the capabilities the module have, so to don't spend all the memory. Context window. Probably if you are using LLM, if you are using AI, probably you already saw that. When you have documents, when you have a lot of conversations with the same context, so the same conversation with a lot of message, the module have a limitation of context. And this is one of the great improvements that they have launched recently. More capability to be on same conversation without losing information. It's typical happens when you had a lot of documents, the same conversation, when you have a lot of text to be in the same context. If the memory is full, the conversation will lost some information. So the conversation can make sense anymore, okay? But only recall, as you saw, the Gemini from Google, but it's the open module, starts not 2 years ago, I think less than 2 years ago, with 8K context in the past, in the latest version, previous version, 128K, and in the most recently version, I think it's Gemini 4, 256K. So the context are improved a lot. Hardware. This is one of the main reasons we want to know how to use local modules. It's the hardware dependency. I will explain, as I know, I bring this information only to have an idea, to explain, to be easier to explain. One of the best modules to use in the computer, also in the mobile, is the LLM from Microsoft. It's the PHI that can run in all devices, in phone, in computer, so you can adjust, and it's very easy, very simple to use it. Also, we all have versions to work in computer, in your laptop. Also, we have versions to work in a MacBook, in the Mac system. So, and they are increasing. When you want to use systems like images, generate code, generate video, for now, as I know, it's not possible to use laptops or simple computers. You need a specification, a lot of GPUs. You need a specific GPU or more than one. You need a lot of memory. So I think it's not possible today use laptops, okay? But I'm not an expert. Laptops to generate images, okay, to generate code, a better code. But I'm not an expert, and everything is changing every day. I don't have sure today. What's out there today? Today it's important because when I start to write this presentation, to build this presentation, some things already changed, and in the end, I need before the presentation was need to update the content. So today means a lot in terms of AI. The biggest one, the better one, Kimi. Kimi was Kimi 3, I think, the latest version. So you can do almost everything with Kimi. It's good for code, it's good for image. It's the better one, I think, in my opinion. I don't have sure, but based on information, it's a better one. It's not possible to run in your computer. Not in game computer also. You need a specific machine to run that. Queen, I think was during the last year was the best one for codes. It's possible to build a machine that runs Queen. Now was, I think is Kimi, but it depends. Llama, it's from Meta. I think it's good to context. It's one of the better to have the same conversation with the same context. I think also it's difficult to run in the laptop, but in specific computer, yes. Gima, it's the Gemini open source version. Okay, open source, not open module. Okay, as you saw, I'm sharing the three before are open weights, and also open weights. Okay, this means that you can use it, but it's not possible to train the module. Okay, you can use it in local module, you can use it offline, but it's not possible to train again with your data. It's good as Gemini, it's good for image and videos. DeepSeek, I think almost everyone recalls DeepSeek some 1-2 years ago. I don't have sure when DeepSeek was launched. The stocks from OpenAI dropped a lot, and was the moment that we start believing that open module can answer to our needs. We don't need a specific cloud service. Mistral, it's for geeks, for code. I think have a great community in terms of coding. Okay, it's possible to run in the computer. It's open weights. It's for coding, in my opinion. I don't have sure what the community can do with that, but in my opinion and what I read, it's about coding. PHI, I had already shared PHI in the slides before, talked about that. In my opinion, it's the starting point. So if you want to try something, you can try PHI because it will work in your computer. Okay, they have versions to work in phone, for example. Okay, but it's a starting point. Okay, probably cannot generate codes, image, video. Okay, simple things. And also Amalia. I bring Amalia because it's a Portuguese LLM from the government, from school institutions that work on that, but not specific for because it's Portuguese. It's because it's an example of open source and what it's changed comparing with the other LLMs that I shared. It's because you can train the module, you can use it and you can train. You have access to the open source, the source. I didn't try. This is only about what I wrote, what I read about that. But I think it's more focused in terms of language, ensure that European Portuguese language works well, because in the common module we saw a lot Portuguese from Brazil. So it's like a language European languages, like to work with the European language. Okay. Tools for running modules locally. So I will explain how you can start and how we can work with local modules. First of all, I'm not an expert. I try until today 3-4 tools. I don't have sure, but it's simple. So I'm listing those examples because these are the most usage and they have specific cases. But in my opinion, LM Studio, it's a better one. Not the better one, it's the simplest one. It's only to install and it's easy to configure. It's an application that you can install it and add the module inside, okay? It's application in your computer, exists for iOS and also for Windows. I don't have sure that they have other type of versions, but those versions I tested. And that's also Olama. I started with Olama some years ago. Also, it's simple to use it, but not so simple as the LM Studio. So I suggest to use LM Studio. And now you can use it. How can you can test your own LLM or open module in your computer? Download the module that can be accessed in the GitHub. Typically, it's in the GitHub. Okay. Install LM Studio. Add the module in the LM Studio. It's easy, super easy. So what LM Studio does, it's like run an environment and enable an URL API for you. So when you install the LM Studio and then add an open module or a module, not specific open module, a module inside, the LM Studio builds an infrastructure that's enabled to access an API, okay? And with that API, you can use it like you use Cloud Code. So I suggest use Open Code. It's a terminal that runs in your computer, and you can interact with the LLM. And also Cloud Code, it's possible to change the address from Cloud Codes to your own LLM, and you can build your own AI agent interface. So what you need, it's only an API address to use it, okay? And the LM Studio does this for you. State of art, local versus cloud. I have already talked about it, but let's resume. So in 23 test local modules, it's only a toy, it's to test it. It not answer to our needs in terms of work, but you can feeling the experience, okay? Simple things. 24, 25 was when DeepSeek came and bring the idea that open module will be possible to use it also in enterprise, okay? Answer to complex things, answer to daily tasks. Today, you can use it. So in my opinion, today, open module can answer to everything that you need, also in terms of coding. So it's possible to have an infrastructure in your company and access and enable the API to work with local modules offline. Okay, I think this is possible today. Probably some weeks ago, I believe not, but today with Kimi, sorry, I think it's possible to answer to all needs, video, images, calls. I believe that. Limitations and challenge, only to finish. One of the reasons it's hardware. So when we are talking about local LLM, we are thinking about privacy. I can work offline, but take in consideration that you need a lot of hardware and you will have limitations in terms of hardware and in infrastructures. Think about that you need to invest. It's not pay as you go. you need to invest first to have local LLMs, the own LLM. Think about maintenance, okay? But also in terms of speed, because your hardware never be better than cloud, okay? Cloud infrastructure, because the cloud can be upgraded and our hardwares have some limitations. Licensing and conditions. This is very important. When you are using a local LLM from the community, an open LLM, they have licensing. Okay, they have rules to use it. It's common to be don't sell it, don't use to enable other types on the other service on top of it. So taking consideration in terms of what tasks you can do with the LLM. Okay. Operations and maintenance. Let me recall that when you have your local LLM, you need to maintain it. Oh, I can build my infrastructure, I can install it, and it's working. I only need energy. It's not true, because every week, every month, we have new versions, and probably your team need to use those new versions to enable features, etc. So you need to maintain the infrastructure, okay? And talking about the future, the most common environments, servers, when you are using a local LLM, it's based on IP. You can access the internet and use cloud service, okay? But also you can use it as a local address, local API that can be on your computer, but also in your network. I believe this type of solution that you are seeing in the image can be the future. So in the future, I imagine I'm working on something, I'm using an LLM, and the LLM, it's a box connected to my computer that works there, and the box, it's only for that to run LLMs, because the hardware can be adapted to the LLMs and not to do everything, only to run LLMs. I believe also that in our company, we can have a machine and infrastructure where the employees can access, can be away, but I believe that this type of personal ownership can be the future. And to finish, key points. Local is no longer a toy, okay? Today you can do, I believe that everything with the local LLM. The challenge is the infrastructure, okay? Memory is the constraint. So when you have a computer, a local machine, you have a limitation of hardware, a limitation of memory. That can work today, but next month we'll have a new version of LLM, and you need to update to a new version, but we'll have a constraint in terms of memory. Oh, you can buy more memory in terms of hardware and add more memory in the hardware. Not, because the hardware sometimes have limitations, okay? The real win is control. Yes, when you have local LLMs, you can do everything with or your LLM training, change it, upgrade it in your time, okay? And to the end, to finish, my suggestion is start cheap. So start Microsoft LLM with Microsoft LLM, start using in your computer, in your laptop. And if you believe that you can do more things, buy this type of boxes that I shared. Use it a normal computer box, PC. If you have access to infrastructure, you can build a specific environment to work with that, but start cheaper. So starting your computer, every computer can run a local LLM, as simple as you go, and check it and understand it, because I believe that This can be the future. Okay. And that's it. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to share our video, to subscribe our channel, to like this video. This is very important to continue share Masterclass every month. Today, it's July, just Masterclass July. In next month, we'll have another one. Thank you for your time. Bye, guys.